Rohan's Corner, Rohan's Corner. That show's awesome, awesome. It's so awesome, oh so awesome, awesome, awesome. Doesn't Rohan's Corner collect GoBots? That would be really late. One of the many robot franchises on his show. He treats them all the same. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. He's got a wall of fame. Awesome.
Who's the greatest shark around? Who's the greatest shark in town? Sky-Byte, that's me! Hello everybody and welcome back to Rohan's Corner, and I know it's been a while. Thank you to my showhorts for their wonderful introduction and for putting up with me on the show.
Cancel all your appointments, you're going to be a little tied up.
Now, in terms of this week's show, last week on Transformers the Show, there was a lovely tribute to the late Peter Spellos, the wonderful voice talent who was the man behind Sky-Byte from Robots in Disguise. And I wanted to extend that tribute this week on Rohan's Corner, talking about my love for the character and the show in general, because Sky-Byte for me was the ultimate quintessential anti-hero.
Good guys are overrated. It's easy to do those things. We'll get Scourge and the Autobots to destroy each other, and we'll be the only ones left.
Whoa, that means we'll be the best team.
Yes, if we're the only team that does follow. Now, don't overheat your little toad brain, all right?
And what I mean by that is when we were going through Generation 1 and Beast Wars, there were characters in those shows which had duality to their roles. Sometimes they were good, sometimes they were evil, sometimes they were in between.
What is this, a relay race?
But for me, the very first time I felt that was with Sky-Byte. And maybe it's because he was a goofy clown who loved to make poetic haikus.
You are so gullible.
And was absolutely useless at achieving his goals of destroying the Autobots.
Oh, I have no idea how this could have happened, sir. I was led astray.
You'll pay for this!
Will you take a check? Well, I still have the receipt. I could see about doing an exchange.
Or maybe it was because you saw that he had empathy and heart, and he wasn't just this evil, conniving being like some of the Decepticons or the Predacons had been at other times.
Good news at last. For reasons no one can explain, the Predacons are actually helping keep the tower up.
Sky-Byte is our hero?
I don't believe it.
Whoa. Let's go, Sky-Byte! I believe in you! You're doing a great job! Don't give up! Keep it up, Sky-Byte! You can do it!
Hey, wait, why would they like us?
They're cheering. For me, I've never been cheered for in my entire life. I wish Megatron would cheer for me once. Come on, men! Save the hostages! Don't let them fall!
And let me take you on a little bit of a journey through history. Back in 2000, when RID, 99-2000, when RID first hit the stores and also first hit the screens, my brother and I had just come off the back of hating Beast Wars because they were beasts and not vehicles, and not getting on with the cartoon show. And RID was our bring back into Transformers, if you like. It was the first time we really enjoyed Transformers again after Generation 2.
That would be so nice.
And for us, that was significant because not only was it, a new beginning in terms of collecting and in terms of enjoyment of the franchise, but it was also the same in terms of the show and in terms of the toys. And specifically, we enjoyed the Autobot cars, the Autobot truck in terms of Optimus Prime being a fire truck.
Hey, Optimus Prime over here! Head of the Autobots! I'm Optimus Prime!
I'm Optimus Prime, I told you that!
Whoa, check him out, he really went all out. We got 4 Optimus Primes here. It's kind of embarrassing, you know?
And some of the other later characters, the likes of Ultra Magnus, the Rail Racer, etc., etc. Some great characters in there. However, when we looked at the Decepticons, or the Predacons, if you like, for the first part, we had Megatron, this 6-beast changer form with not the best voice actor in the world, in my opinion, and the Predacons. And we weren't a big fan, to be honest with you, because we just felt that they were Beast Wars repaints that had been thrown into the show, and they didn't really bring a lot new at the time.
I hate to tell you this, but those 3 bumbling buffoons botched it again. I suggest you let me handle it.
However, carry on, proceed through the episodes and the season towards the end, where the Decepticons get introduced, Scourge and Ruination and those lot, and we start to find the dynamic shift between the Predacons, who were initially causing the Autobots a bit of grief, but then became the slapstick comedy of the show, and in my opinion, the Team Rocket of Transformers. Every single episode we would get the Predacons turning up to fight the Autobots, and at the end they would be blasting off again because they've been shot up into the sky.
Oh no, not again! Ah!
And, you know, Gas Skunk, Slapper, and whatever the other one's name was, Night Scream or Dark Scream, whatever, they were funny in themselves. They also were quite ironic and had dry senses of humor. So to...
I'm kaput.
You can scratch yourself now, SkyByte.
You're right!
cause some sort of compensation for all of that, they introduced Sky-Byte as the second in command of the Predacon ranks beneath Megatron, who basically sat in his throne and did absolutely nothing. A little bit like in Armada, although at least in Armada he gets up to kill a few Autobots and do things. In RID, at least the first season, a lot of the show, to be honest with you, he is sat there just grumbling and talking nonsense. And it's Sky-Byte and the Predacons who actually lead the charge for the Predacons and Decepticons forces in the first season. And then in the second season, they almost become this sort of third faction, trying to undermine the Decepticons at every turn so that their mantle is not, reduced down to ashes. And at the same time, also going up against the Autobots and having a distaste for them.
Do you know how long I have waited for this? Don't stand there, jumped ahead, they're all staring at you. Say something brilliant.
And I think there are some excellent episodes where Peter Spellos does a wonderful job with his singing and his play acting with the vocals. It brings a lot to the character of Sky-Byte. Obviously, there's a lot in the character as well, as I mentioned before, that compassion, that empathy, the poetic side.
Stand tall, stand proud, and show those Autobots what you're forged from.
The right and wrong, that is very evident throughout the series. If you've never seen RID, as Chris McFeely says in his basics on Sky-Byte, he is the breakout character in that series.
The shark is back on top!
As in a new character who's been introduced. We've seen Optimus Prime before. We've seen the Autobot brothers style of characters before. There's nothing particularly new there. We've even seen Megatron and the Decepticon style before. But Sky-Byte is definitely something different. And the Predacons in general too. I think that, they were something refreshingly nice about the series.
And that, my fellow Predacons, is what sheer genius is really all about.
And it is very sad about Peter and his passing after his ill health. We wish all of his family and friends all the best. And I hope, very, very vehemently hope, that the Sky-Byte character continues on to become popular ever forward in the Transformers franchise, as it has done since its introduction in RD.
Get me Optimus, I insist, get me Prime.
Whatever was in that head, it ain't working anymore, You got that!
Even though I don't collect beast-based robots, unless they're Generation 1, I have a soft spot in my heart for Sky-Byte, and I always will do.
Who's the smartest shark around? Who's the coolest shark in town? SkyByte, that's me!
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Rohan's Corner. Join me again next week for number 200, where hopefully I will have something special for you. Back to the studio.
Rohan's Corner, that show's awesome, awesome, it's so awesome, oh so awesome, awesome, awesome. Doesn't Rohan's Corner collect GoBots? That would be really late. One of the many robot franchises on his show. He treats them all the same. Awesome, awesome, awesome. He's got a wall of fame.